We went up in overall. It's crazy. Holy shit. And welcome back to the Ramona Rams live stream, as we have Jay and Wick in the booth.
Serra versus the Riverside Ramona. How are your thoughts approaching this game for Ramona here, coming off a pretty bad loss last time?
You know, honestly, after a pretty bad loss, the only true thing you got to do is bounce back. I think that's the best thing for this team. Obviously, like we've always talked about last time we came out here, you know, it's a young team. They got to bounce back. I think this is one of the parts that comes with being a young team. You have to learn of how to win games after losing. And, you know, we're going to see if they have the perseverance, the resilience to win this game. I also have heard from our head coach today that he is making a change with the playbook on offense. He said he did not like what he saw offensively, especially in the last couple of games, and he wants to see something a little different. And I am truly excited because I think that's what this offense needs. Obviously, the defense is playing lights out, but this offense has to get going. As Ramona is going to start off on defense, and I think that's where we want to be right now. We just saw their quarterback, Lewis Cook, obviously is not the greatest of quarterbacks that we've played this season. Obviously, 6 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. I think our boys should eat tonight. And we see Carter, their star running back, take off for a 15-yard gain. And, well, that's not what you expect, obviously, to see from this defense, who didn't really allow too many rushing yards last game. A lot of rushing touchdowns, but I believe their running back last week he had about 30 rushing yards. Absolutely, yes, he takes off again for a 3-yard gain. They're going to give it right back to him. And he is going to get it down at the 46-yard line for another 3-yard gain.
This is where this defense really shines here. 3rd and short, 3rd and medium. Look to them to shut this down.
Yep, and it looks like they bring a heavy blitz. And, wow, talk about a catch there. I believe that is Emmett Franklin on the play. Absolutely, and I think when you think about this team and you think about how well this pass rush is, when you think about it, this defensive line is incredibly talented, and you just gotta hope that the secondary can hold up their end of the bargain with this play. As there we go again with Carter with a 2-yard gain there. It looks like they're starting to go with a more tighter box, as we're seeing now. We're going to see 5 on the line. I don't know if both edge rushers are going to blitz or what, but another huge run as he now already has 38 yards in the day. And Serra is already at the 16-yard line. By the way, this is a team that is 2-4. So this isn't the greatest of teams, and this is a 3-game stretch that we kind of expected to see Ramona win games, and you know it's difficult to see them, you know, struggling in these games. Absolutely, right there by Dukes. What a stud he is. But you know, like you said, not high quality teams that we've played. You kind of expect to see a little bit more as Carter gets the ball again. And he's going to stumble up to 3rd and 2 at the 8-yard line. Let's see if Serra can get it in the end zone. This is where I expect to see a goal line stop, as we saw one last week. I expect to see another one. I think the boys are strong enough to get it done, but not going to be able to get it done when you're giving up plays like that. At the 2-yard line there, number 87. Absolutely. And like you said, been a bright spot. Number 9, Nolan Carter, is absolutely that man. And it's going to be tough to contain him, but I think if any team's going to do it, I think it's going to be us. Like you said, we last week we definitely had the 5th rushing defense. Didn't check it too much. I believe we definitely dropped after last week, but I think we can get back up into those standings if we can get them down. Well, only time will tell. Let's see what this new look offense is going to look like. Obviously, still led by drones, but are we going to see more of a passing drones, or are we going to see drones just get back to running the football? Absolutely, and when you look at the stats, it's not a terrible game for drones, especially in his rookie year. Um, but being a freshman and coming in, it's always going to be tough. And not throwing a touchdown last season, you got to expect he's going to want to come out here and play big, especially for the team. As he goes ahead and gets it, Current right there for a 3-yard gain at the 33. Already a difference in game. I think we ran the ball a good portion of amount of the game last game, and this game, we're already going out with the pass. As we go back to it, shotgun pass, a little bit ahead of Keon Davis right there, and it's going to come up to 3rd and 7 here. On this defense, any notable players who you want to talk about? And more, good play. When you talk about a stat stuffer, that's truly what Walt Wainwright has been. As you look right there, I think he tried to make the play, missed it right there on Kimmel. Kimmel gets up to the 47-yard line of Junipero Serra, and we're going to see if they can continue to bounce back. As here we go, play action there for Drones. He's going to drop into the pocket, look, and this dangerous pass there to Ryan Williams. As we know, these corners love to get the ball. I believe they've been all over the field recently. Absolutely, and it's one of those things you got to have both sides of the balls clicking, and I think that's what we kind of saw last week where we didn't see the offensive side clicking. As Jones is going to take it for himself, and he's going to slide. Very smart 7-yard run there by Jones, and just trying to keep this drive alive, trying to keep this offense moving, and plays like that are going to win you football games. That's the plays that we need to see last game. Those are the plays that win you games. And this offense truly looks like a whole new offense as we see another huge throw by Drones there to Ryan Williams on the 11-yard line. Now let's see if they can punch it in here. Absolutely. I think this is one of those plays where you got to get it to Bo. But at the same time, we've seen Drones in his arm make beautiful plays for our team so far, and I expect to see him make one like that to Kimmel, as we're now at 3rd and 1 after a huge 6-yard play there. And at the 3rd and 1, I'm on the 2-yard line, I think like you just said, you got to try to get it to Bo. He's the back of the future. He's the back of now. You got to get it to Bo. Don't elect to go for Bo. They lofted over the head of Williams, and now it's going to be 4th and 1. Pretty tricky spot here. Last week we kicked 2 field goals that ultimately kind of cost us a game, and we're going to see them kind of get a little bit aggressive here. 4th and 1 on the 2-yard line. Let's see what they do here. They're going to give it to Bo, and Bo is going to get in for a touchdown. His second in 2 straight games, and now Ramona is only a field goal away from tying this game. And let's see what this defense can do to answer back. Absolutely, and I expect Ramona to try to at least control the trenches a little bit and get Bo going. As we just saw, I mean, about 10 of those plays, and I believe 11 yard drive, we saw a lot of passing. Already a different offense. I think they're going to try to lean more on drones this week, especially looking at, it's a bit of a risk, especially considering how much of a ball hawk corners they have, but he's been taking advantage so far, and he's made good plays, and I trust him with the football. Now let's see this defense as Serra comes out and gets ready on the 23-yard line. They're going to give it right back to Carter, and Wika's right there to make a huge stop for no gain. Here goes the drop back by Cook. Cook is going to look, and nothing there. Trapper's right there on the play. Yeah, like you just said, Wika was actually, crazy fun fact, I believe one of, if not the only player of the old Ramona team to stay. The coach had a couple talks with him, and they get a first down right there. Tragic. You gotta get a stop there. But the coach talked to Wika, and he said, I want to play for this team. I want to stay. I want to make an impact. I want to help coach these young players and mentor them, and I want to win. And, he could have easily went somewhere else like many of the other players of the past did, but instead he stayed, and he's locking down that spot as a junior for our team. And, I couldn't be happier having someone like Wika who can truly command this defense, tell everybody where they need to be. And like you said, he's a true player, and he leads by example for sure. As Carter is going to go off and take a huge run there. 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line. What do you got to say about this rush defense? Absolutely, I think you couldn't have said any better. Like you said, they gotta let him beat him. Hand the ball off to Nolan. As much as we like to say we have a great rushing defense, he goes up again for another 6 yards. Like you said, he's unstoppable. I mean, truth be told, and he's having a day. He's having incredible years. There we go. We get a decent stop, even still, 3rd and inches on 41. We got to see a little bit more from him. And we got to see, like I said, Lewis Cook has got to beat us. It's a quarterback that hasn't really had a great season. He hasn't really done a lot. And there goes Carter again.
There's the outside.
Yeah, and things like that, those, people talk about drive killers for a defense, but drive killers for an offense, and this is damn near a drive killer for a defense that's been truly dominant. As you suck right there, gets in there, and makes a play, and knock the QB down and stop a big play that looked like was going a little bit downfield. And, like we said, the defense has got to be a little bit more alert so we can make some play right there for a 2-yard gain on Carter. But it's got to be more alert. We're putting 5 damn near on the line, and we don't seem to be getting a lot of pressure or really stops in general. As I say pressure, there goes Rome right there, who forces a throwaway by Cook, and it looks like they're going to set up for 3 here. A better drive, obviously still leads in points, but a good drive by Ramoma. There goes Davis again for the 25-yard line. And if you look, we look at the QB rushers, there goes Drones 5th with 2 on the day, 2 on the year, I'm sorry. And That's I think one of the biggest things about his game when you look at the dual threat QB and how much is taking over the NFL today. Drones is truly looking up to the great players like the Hurts and the Jacksons and the Daniels, and he's using not only his arm but his legs as well to make plays and extend them. As we already seen him take off for a 7-yard rush in this game. You gotta expect that he's gonna do that a little bit more during this season as he gets a big play there to Kimmel. 3rd and 5 at the 30-yard line. Time to see what Ramona's gonna do. I expect to see a pass here. A a bit of a questionable play call last week on, I believe, 4th down where they ran it to Bo. Instead of running it on 3rd down, decided to do it on 4th down, which is very interesting. Drones looking, I believe that was Kimmel right there on the right side. Could have been Williams. But no gain. These corners are playing very well. Like you said, and I think we talked about it last week, Ryan Williams can make a play. Currant can make a play, and they're making a big stiff arm there. 8 yards there by Currant, 3rd and 2. But, this offense has the potential to be one of the most deadly offenses in high school. But it all starts with getting, not only the run game, but got to get the pass game going as well. We didn't see the greatest game from Drones as much as we'd like to say that he's played well. That last game, you got to expect more from him. Only 1 passing touchdown. Didn't really get anything going throwing the ball. And so much to the fact that we didn't even, put the ball in his hands on 4th and 4 as there goes Bo with a 5-yard gain. Great play. Is Davis. It's a beautiful throw by Drones, obviously. Like you said, that's the dual threat right there. I mean, breaks the tackle, gets off, makes a beautiful throw, and he looks again, and that was to Kimmel, and it's just a little bit too high. But it's plays like that we kind of expected from him last week that we didn't see, and it's good to see that he is looking at least a little bit more confident, a little bit more poised, and ready to make those big plays. Again, the accuracy is starting to come into question. Those are back-to-back bad throws, and we saw a little bit last week, and also a lot this game already with the bad throws. We talked about the receivers making drops, but you got to put it in their hands. As Drones is just going to take off for a quick, looks like 20 yards. Holy, what a big play! And they get it down to the 12, and that's the big play ability you expect from your quarterback, especially knowing he can use his legs. Great play by Drones. Absolutely. You expect them to want to do that, especially with 3 minutes left here in the second. You're going to want to see him take a couple of shots as he takes, a little bit of a 4-yard pass out to Keon Davis, but you're going to expect to see him take another shot at the end zone, I think. Last time he tried to take one, they ended up having to run the ball to Bo, but I think he's going to want his, and I think he's going to try to get it right here. As there it is, a huge play to Kimmel. And that is a Riverside Ramona touchdown, which is 13-7 now. And, like I said, he's going to want his. And look at, already had the throw timed up. A beautiful time throw right there on the slant. 1, 2, 3, throw the ball. Beautiful execution, beautiful play by Ramona, and I'm loving it. Absolutely, A little bit of a correction there. It was not 14-7, 14-10 now. For Ramona, and yeah, you got to start that, man, Nolan Carter. And now that we're back on the defensive side of the ball, we talked a lot about a man last week that did not show up in Carter Hart. Do you have any answers for why his disappearance is? Cook takes off, huge throw to his tight end for 10 yards there, first down. But yeah, no, do you have any questions as to why Carter Hart did not show up last game? It seemed like he was a bit of a ghost out there. Absolutely, and I think the one thing that actually he kind of reminds me a little bit of a more established TJ, not more established. I want to say he looks like a young TJ Watt at times. You know, the way he can just rush a passer and make plays in different ways. He has a pick already on the season, a forced fumble already on the season, multiple sacks already on the season. He's just all over the field at any point in time in the game, and it just kind of just shook me. You know, not showing up. As you said, he is still a young guy, but you gotta expect a little bit more. As Cook gets a big play again to his tight end, who is having a day right now in the middle of the field, just eating it up. They're giving them what they're taking what they're given, and that's what Cook is doing. And you got to expect more from the secondary. Yeah, pretty interesting game so far. Another first and 10 at the 25-yard line. Pretty interesting so far. Um, we expect to see a little bit more here, and here we go. What a play again. Meats got back to back. And there goes Cook. I mean, he's already eclipsed 111 yards this game, 100 yards in this game. As he gets down to the 1 yard line, you gotta expect they're gonna give it to Nolan Carter. Let's see if our defense can make a goal line stop. And I mean, the best thing about that is I do love that our defense got there. I don't know what Mackey was doing over there, a little bit lacking. Um, but let's see what they can do here on the goal line. Looks like they're stacking the box here. And Cook is going to go out. Looks like it was a bit of a speed option. Great play there by Cinco Moore as he gets to stop there on Cook. Now 53 seconds left on the clock. Pretty interesting play call considering they don't just give it to the bell cow back right there. They do go to him on third and goal. It's only a 1. And at the 1 yard line, they're going to let the clock tick. 23 seconds left on the clock. Let's see what they got here. And it's a touchdown by Nolan Carter, as we kind of expected. You know, on the 1 yard line, you got to give it to him. Let's see. Last week, Drones was able to draw a penalty flag and get them a field goal with 1 second left on the clock. Let's see if he can do that here right before they get the ball at half. And here's Ramona as they get ready, and they run it off to Bo, who gets 2 yards there. It's 2nd and 8. You gotta expect they're gonna throw it deep here. 12 seconds left on the clock. Oh, and weird clock management is they don't take a field goal or a timeout or anything there. Interesting. So we're gonna go to halftime, 14-17.
And Ramona's going to get the ball back.
All right, and we're back. We have brought Wick back into the studio. I'm sorry. Sorry for a bit of the mic issues there. But we're back. And we're gonna see if Ramona can get this win. Obviously down by 3 points. And there goes Bo with a huge run. He gets it down to the 35-yard line, just about 10 yards, about 9.5. Looked like he really got the ball across the plane, but I think about one more run, he should get it right here.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see a play action, but they will go to him here. He'll pick up the first. Normally with this offense, you forget the playbook change, and you expect that to be a play action bomb deep, knowing they basically have the first down in the store.
And penalty flag as we get a false start. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, false start. Yeah, by the offense, and it's going to move him back about 5 yards here. We're going to see it 1st and 15 for drones. They move into the pistol. Something we didn't see in the last offense was the pistol. And we get it now for drones. And he makes a 5-yard play to, I believe that's Keon Davis on the play. Beautiful play by drones. Yeah, what is your keys to winning this game for Mona? Obviously down by 3, but, 3 is nothing for them. What is your keys to winning this game defensively and offensively?
Well, offensively, they have to hit their mark on some of these passes. Jones' accuracy has been a little shaky today. We've seen him overthrow some balls. We've seen him underthrow some guys, just like right there. And they're going to have to get that going, maybe get Bo more involved. The deep ball almost picked off there. He was going for Kimmel. And that's the worry bit here of their corners. Zach Calloway and Emmett Franklin, both 2 picks on the year, and Ramona's going to have to punt. And on this defensive side of the ball, they have to lock up the run game. The run game has killed them this game. Nolan Carter almost at 100 yards this game already, and we've still basically got a whole half of football to play. And so they're going to have to tighten up the gaps here.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more with you, and I think one of the biggest keys as well is, if you look at that ball by Jones, his accuracy issues are definitely coming into play right now. As we just saw, he had Kimmel, and I could be wrong, but it looked like he had Kimmel open, but he just underthrew him there. It almost became a pick, and there goes Carter, who's going to take off. Luckily, Mackey makes a huge stop